is taken from the Old Testament, from the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, beginning from verse 10 down to verse 12. Jeremiah 29, 10 to 12. I am reading from today's English version. The Lord says, when Babylonia's 70 years are over, I will show my concern for you and keep my promise to bring you back home. I alone know the plans I have for you. Plans to I alone know the plans I have for you. Plans to bring you prosperity and not disaster. Plans to bring about the future you hope for. Then you will call to me. You will come and pray to me, and I will answer you. This is the word of the Lord tonight. Ang ating meditation tonight, mga kapatid, medyo malapit po, may similarity sa meditation natin noong nakaraang Miyerkules. Kung maalaala pa po ninyo, ang ating meditation last Wednesday was about or was focused on God's promise to the exiled Jewish people in the land of Babylon, that when they call on the Lord promised to answer them. Now, tonight, as I have said, may similarity diyan, pero yung ating meditation tonight is a little bit expanded. Ano po? Hindi lang po siya naka-focus doon sa pangako that when God's people call on Him, He will answer them. And kasi po dito po sa passage na binasa natin tonight, makikita po natin dito mayroon pong tatlong promises na binigay ang Panginoon para po sa mga exiled people or Jewish people na dinala sa Babylon as captives after Jerusalem was besieged or conquered or attacked and destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BC. Okay. Now, sabi ko po, medyo expanded ito kasi it includes two other promises to the exiles. So, tonight, balikan po natin ang mga pangako ng Diyos sa kanyang mga piniling tao, mga Jewish people, when they were brought to Babylon, the modern day Iraq, as captives. Kasi po nakita ko na parang napakalaking similarity ng naging, although mas malala yung kanilang kalagayan, pero may kahawig po ang sitwasyon ating mga OFWs sa naging kalagayan at pinagdaanan ng mga Jewish people in captivity during those times. Pero before looking into the promises, itong tatlong promises na makikita natin sa ating passage tonight, it is important for us to remember na bilang mga exiles, the Jewish people were uprooted. They were removed from their beloved country. They were alienated from their families, from their loved ones. I do not think na lahat sila, yung buong pamilya, dinala sa Babylon when they were made captives. So, parang kagaya sa atin, although yung ating sort of captivity dito ay hindi political, hindi dahil sa digmaan, kundi tayo po ay mga economic captives, economic exiles. Andito po tayo dahil po sa paghahanap natin ng trabaho. But ganun pa man, there is a great similarity because kung sila had the experience of being removed, forcibly removed, uprooted from their beloved place, tayo rin may experience of being uprooted, being separated, being alienated from our loved ones, from our families, as well as from our country. So, and sabi ko kanina, siguro mas malala yung kanilang naging experience compared sa atin. Kasi maybe many of them were made slaves and were forced to do menial, dirty jobs. Tayo rin, no? Mga menial at saka mga dirty jobs. Yung mga ayaw gawin ng mga employers natin, pinapagawa nila sa ating ano po. So, but in the face of their sufferings, in the midst of the loneliness and the humiliation they had experienced as exiles, God's promises came to them in the midst of their pitiful, kawawang kalagayan or sitwasyon. Dumating po ang mga magagandang pangako ng Panginoon para sa mga exiles na ito through the prophet Jeremiah. So ito po yung titingnan natin. I found three promises dito po sa verses 10 to 12. Isang promise bawat verse. Unang-una sa verse 10. When 70 years are completed for Babylon, or modern day Iraq, I will come to you. That's a promise. Okay? I will come to you and fulfill my gracious promise. Ano po yung promise ng Panginoon sa kanila? Dito po sa verse 10. To bring you back to this place. This place refers to Judea. Because and Jerusalem was in Judea. And so it was Judea that was attacked and conquered, particularly the city of Jerusalem, especially the temple. So andito po yung pangako ng Panginoon, I will bring you back. Ibabalik ko kayo sa inyong lugar na lugar na kung saan ipinanganak kayo or lupang sinilangan. Ayun po. Yes. Yun po ang pangako ng Panginoon. When 70 years were accomplished or completed by Babylon, 70 years, hindi po naging 100 years, hindi po naging forever yung kanilang captivity, yung kanilang suffering. I think the Lord allowed this to happen, yung captivity, and allowed them to be exiled as disciplinary act ng Panginoon dahil they turned their backs from the Lord and they started worshiping idols. Naging idolaters po sila. Naging unfaithful sila sa Panginoon. God has been faithful to them. And yet, many of them, including and especially mga leaders nila, from the king and even religious leaders, they became unfaithful to Yahweh. And so, God allowed this to happen to them to kind of purge them or discipline them. But God is true. God was true, and God is still true to His promises. And so He fulfilled this promise to bring them home. Na ibalik sila sa kanilang lupang sinilangan. At alam niyo kung paano ginawa ng Panginoon yon? After many years, Babylon was conquered by Persia. The mighty Babylon became weak, and it was defeated by the Persian Empire under the kingship of King Cyrus II. At ito si King Cyrus II, gracious na king. And siya yung ginamit ng Panginoon. Siya yung ginamit ng Panginoon para i-grant na para pabalikin itong mga exile na mga Jewish people in Babylon. Okay? Pero ang punto mga kapatid, first and foremost is that God promised to bring them home, to take them back sa kanilang lupang sinilangan. And God fulfilled His promise in due time. Right now, sabi ko kanina, parang kagaya tayo ng mga exiles. But like the exiles, recipients din tayo ng pangako ng Panginoon na darating ang panahon. No? Sa ngayon, malayo tayo sa mga mahal natin sa buhay at saka sa ating lupang sinilangan. We are uprooted in a sense, right? Alienated from our loved ones. Gusto natin kahit magbakasyon, hindi tayo pwedeng magbakasyon dahil sa COVID, dahil sa pandemic. But like the exiles in Babylon before, we are looking forward for a final homecoming. Aren't you? We're looking forward na makauwi na tayo for good and be with our families and stay and live in our country. Na hindi na tayo aalis ng ating bansa at mga ngamuhan sa ibang bansa na kung